Welcome to the Under Review podcast, where Saturdays mean everything, rivalries run deep, and the SEC reigns supreme. Hosted by Todd and Marty, two die-hard fans breaking down every snap, storyline, and showdown across the Southeastern Conference. From the swamp to the plains, between the hedges to the bayou, no team is safe when it's under review. Now back to the action with Todd and Marty.
Where'd you get them glasses?
Welcome everybody. Episode 66 of the Under Review podcast, and we are back. Week 1 is ready to roll. I know I'm excited. I know Marty's excited. I know our guest picker backstage, Hayden Coker, is excited as well.
Most definitely. See, the officially start of season 2. Man, I'm super excited. A good group of games. We're doing a lot more. There's a lot of slides this week.
Yeah, that definitely a lot of slides. But we're also throwing in a couple new probably one new segment from last year. I know it was really what was the word? Talked about in my standpoint, asked me, hey, can you throw in the slideshow? So guess what, guys? We're giving it to you at the start of season 2, starting it out. Or is it? It should be the next slide, right? No. Well,
I probably should have done that one earlier.
But before that, we also want to thank God for bringing us here for this another week. Thank you to the wives for everything that they've done. Hayden Coker, HCS Media, Jud Dickinson, Brandon Trammell, and we got another sponsor rolling in later today too. So we are really pumped up and excited to bring out everything that we got.
Yeah, you forgot about them big head and chicken legs.
Oh, yes, I talked to them last week, and also thank you to the Dadpod, Hayden Coker. Or not Hayden Coker. God dang it, I do it every week. Hunter Brassfield and Nicholas Adams. There we go. Every week it happens. But now we're going to bring y'all a brand new segment. And it's called Around the State, which we bring in teams from all the others around the state, not talking about Auburn and Alabama. We're going to bring you Alabama A&M, Alabama State. We're going to bring in Jacksonville State. We're going to bring in Samford. We're going to bring in South Alabama, North Alabama, and the UAB Blazers. Just a quick rundown of their games this week. So here we have it. Starting Thursday at 6 o'clock, Jacksonville State will travel down to UCF in the Bounce House. New head coach down there at the night. So, I mean, I like Jackson State's chances here just because, they're close and, got a lot of alumni coming on later tonight. Samford will host West Georgia Wolves, also Thursday at 6:30 on ESPN+. Alabama State will travel down to UAB to take on the Blazers Thursday at 7:30 on ESPN+. North Alabama travels to Western Kentucky on 6 p.m. on ESPN+ on Saturday. Morgan State travels to South Alabama, 6 p.m. Saturday kickoff on ESPN+. And then Nichols will also travel down to Troy, Alabama, another 6 p.m. ESPNU kickoff.
Jack State and UCS, about 1 or 2 or 3 of them I know.
Yeah, it's a very slim few. All right, so we're going to take a quick break right here before we get into our SEC games and listen to the Tactical Home and Pest sponsorship.
Hey, babe, we got ants.
Okay, kill them.
No, really, there's a lot of freaking ants.
Well, what do you want me to do? I ain't no expert.
Well, fine then. I'll call Tactical Home and Pest.
Go ahead and call Benjamin.
Hi, this is Ben Dominguez, owner-operator of Tactical Home and Pest. Call me today before it's too late. 256-592-2842 or visit me at tacticalhomeandpest.com.
There it is, Tactical Home and Pest, a new sponsor from the Under Review podcast. And me and my wife, we are by no means any voice actors, but we did what we could.
I liked it.
I think it's pretty funny. Uncle Ben loved it. So, Tactical Home and Pest, give him a shout. Tell him the guys at the Under Review podcast sent you. And I think let's talk about some games this week. We're going inside the SEC. Here's our bread and butter, guys. We've been waiting all off season for this. And we're kicking off Thursday, 6:30 p.m. on the SEC Network. We're talking Central Arkansas and Missouri at Missouri. Now,
definitely Missouri here. I don't know much about Central Arkansas, but I do like the purple and black in that bear. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think they're a Division II school or FCS school, but, I think Missouri will figure it out. Going to love seeing how that quarterback plays this week, get more about him. But like I said, moving on.
Thought that was Knox.
It was.
Oh.
It was a snip clip from when we was trying to do the thing yesterday.
Oh.
Then we're going on to Friday, 7 p.m. on Fox. Well, the Auburn Tigers traveling down to Waco, taking on the Baylor Bears.
I don't know. I talked to this with a few people today, just kind of throwing ideas. As an Auburn fan, very skeptic, trying to break in some of these new guys and seeing where we're at. But I think that Auburn's defense is going to be a little much for Baylor's inexperience on offense.
We'll see. That they're out one of their big defensive backs. They're out one of their running backs. So it's going to be a good test for this Auburn team week one. I'm going to say Auburn. I'm hoping Auburn. But, no Friday night games for me this week. Then we're going to the Aflac kickoff game as the 24 Volunteers bring in Syracuse, 11 a.m. on ABC.
I don't know much about Syracuse, but Tennessee, I want to see some of this just to kind of see where they're at after the Nico one and done.
Right.
Just to kind of, because they've got a chance to do a few good things, but I'm not sure that they can do it.
We're starting early. This game will be in Mercedes-Benz Stadium, but give me the orange in this game.
They're both
I want to take Syracuse orange. I want to take Tennessee. I really do, but I don't know how they're going to play. So with it being week one, give me Frank Brown and the Syracuse orange. $11 a.m. kickoff on ESPN. Mississippi State will travel down to Hattiesburg, Mississippi to take on the Southern Mississippi Eagles,
Falcons, Birds.
Something like that. I like Mississippi State in this game. I really do. But don't sleep on Southern Miss right here, especially being this is Mississippi State. I think if Mississippi State comes out and gives a big game, they're a 12-point favorite in this game. If they come out and do a big game, maybe turning some heads inside the SEC, maybe they're not the team to get walked around on all season this year, even as it is Southern Mississippi. You don't want to say anything on that one?
Mississippi State.
Okay. Then Toledo goes into Kroger Field in Lexington, Kentucky at 11:45 on the SEC Network.
Now that Zach Calzada he's the starter for the Wildcats, I think it's going to be a better chance for them to win. I'm going to take the Wildcats.
Now, don't ever cut out that Cutter Bowl kid. He's a young guy, but I do like Zach Calzada in this situation. I do like Toledo's running back. He's a Kentucky transfer, Chip, something like that. I don't know his last name. It's about this
Chip
long.
Ahoy?
Chip Tryon, man, I don't know. I really don't. But he is. I expect him to have a big game, hopefully, because he's on my college fantasy team. But I will say Kentucky. Yeah, you'll see. And then the Marshall Herd traveling to number 5 Georgia at 2:30 on ESPN. Georgia. I don't think there's really a big difference here. 3:15 on the SEC Network. Alabama A&M travels down to Arkansas. I don't think Alabama A&M has it in them just yet to take down a pig.
Right. I think Arkansas's got enough in them to win.
Illinois State travels to number 18 Oklahoma, 5 p.m. on ESPN+.
This is the kind of game because of the Oklahoma side. I want to see where the quarterback's at. Kind of see where he's at.
John Mateer.
Yeah, jump
Yeah,
here.
I mean, I think he'll eventually settle in. This game will be, they got the line at 35.5 right now. I think that's probably end up what it will be in at the end of the game. But,
Right.
it's just going to be how to see this new Oklahoma rebuilt offense is going to look this year. Long Island travels down to number 15, Florida, 6 p.m. on ESPN+.
Don't want to sound like a dummy, but they're the Sharks.
I think so. Sounds right.
That's pretty cool, though. Definitely Florida.
Yeah, it is.
Definitely Florida here. I think Napier's going to get his first win. I think they might be a little high at the 15th spot,
Yeah, I do. I agree there.
but if they pick up a little momentum coming in with Lagway, I think they might can hold up in the top 25.
I say if you want to see Lightweight throw for a lot of yards this week, it's going to be this one right here. The UTSA Roadrunners travel down to Aggieland to take on the unranked Texas A&M Aggies, 6 p.m. on ESPN+.
Definitely Texas A&M.
Definitely, I do. But again, another team not to sleep on. Yes, they're a younger, smaller team in UTSA. Don't sleep on them. But I think Texas A&M has the defense, of course, better enough to overpower this UTSA team.
Right. Most definitely.
Then we got Charleston Southern traveling into Vanderbilt, 6 p.m. on ESPN+. I think Diego Pavia and this Vanderbilt team will get an early win here at First Bank Stadium in Nashville, Tennessee.
Is their stadium finished yet?
I don't think so. Probably not. I haven't seen anything about it. We'll find out Saturday.
Yeah, I guess ESPN Plus. You got ESPN Plus?
Of course I do.
So that means I got it. So
That's right. Yeah. And then I think this is the last matchup as Georgia State travels into 21-ranked Ole Miss Rebels at 6:45 p.m. on the SEC Network.
Again, Ole Miss. Like I said, I don't know much about Georgia State. What are they? D2?
No, they're
They're FBS.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
FCS, whatever.
No, they're FBS.
The last two letters, maybe. No, I like Ole Miss here. I don't, like I said, yes, losing Jackson Dart was big, but I think they got enough people that where they can.
Again, and this is a good warm-up game for Austin Simmons against this Georgia State team. So
yeah,
I feel like this is a game to help them.
Terrible team, so I mean, it's not a.
They're not. They, back when they had Jarrett McKinnon that almost came into Alabama at homecoming and beat them. So,
my favorite kind of win.
All right. But before we get started on our games of the week and bringing in our good old friend Hayden Coker, we're going to take a moment, step aside for an ad break at Chuck's Heat.
This episode of the Under Review podcast is brought to you by Chuck's Heating and Air. Chuck has over 40 years of service and experience with residential services. He services most makes and models. He is Alabama licensed, bonded, and insured, and locally owned and operated. Are you hot and you're supposed to be cool? Are you cool and you're supposed to be hot? Then you've got a problem. Call Chuck. Area code 256-892-2757. Again, 256-892-2757. Chuck's Heating and Air.
Now let's bring in our good old friend Hayden Coker.
Okay.
What?
Real quick before that, Chuck's Heating and Air had a birthday yesterday.
That he did. He turned a good old 97 years old.
That sounds right to me.
Sounds right. But let's bring in Hayden.
What's going on, guys? How we doing today?
Doing great, buddy. Glad to have you.
Oh man, dude, absolutely. I had a little technical difficulties earlier, so I was a little late to join it. Where in the world is that from? And why does it kind of look like me?
Yeah, Todd did the picture, and I put your logos and stuff on it.
My word, man. All right, dude. Let's get into it. I'm ready to make some picks.
All right. This is the Under Review podcast, top 5 games of the week, and let's get it started with our first one. We have number 8 Alabama going into, is it Doak Walker?
Yep.
Yeah, Doak Campbell Stadium, 2:30 on the ABC network. Let's start with Hayden.
Oh man, I've been waiting for this game. I'm pretty excited for it, but I would put it behind some of the more main course type games. So my main course meal for the day, obviously Texas Ohio State. That's going to be everybody's game that they're going to be flocking to. Like some chickens when some seed has been spread. Man, I'm ready for that game. That's my go-to. But I think this one's going to be one of those games where Florida State they've got to do something, because if not, Thomas Castellanos has kind of dug them a hole. He's already dug them a hole, but I have a really bad feeling that he has dug them a hole deeper than they're going to get out of. I didn't think they were going to win this game at all, even before Castellanos made the comments and everything. But now I think it's a little bit too far gone. I think Alabama they have a little bit more on the defensive line. Obviously, you lose Booker, who's just an absolute dog. But I think you're okay. You return some production there. I think you'll be fine. Ty Simpson coming in, he'll be okay. Jam Miller out does hurt him a little bit, but I think they'll be all right as well. In the wide receiver room, Ryan Williams is a dog. I don't think that Florida State has the type of dudes to go out and stop the offense. I think that Alabama's going to be a really good team this year. I've put out already. I think they lose one game this year, and I think that game is in South Carolina. I don't see Alabama losing this game. I think they keep it within. I want to say it'll be in the 20s. I don't think it'll be a close game. Now, maybe in the first and second quarter. It's the first game of the year. Everybody's going to have some rust. So I think that Alabama keeps it close in the first half, and then, Florida State keeps it close. But after that, I think it's all Crimson Tide, and they roll in the second half.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there, Stu. I think it might be a little tricky at first with Malzahn coming into Florida State and changing up their offense, because they had to do something. Last year, they won 2 ball games. So this is one I've even a little somewhat more excited for this than the Auburn game to a certain extent. But like I said, I don't think Jam hurts them a whole lot, because they do have next man up mentality. I think Florida could score a few touchdowns, just with this being the first game of the season against Alabama's defense. But definitely go in the red team.
I'm not. I'm going Florida State.
What?
I know y'all knew it was coming.
What?
Yeah, I am. I've said it all couple of weeks leading up to this. I think Florida State, with a new rebuilt offense, is going to definitely going to win more than 2 games, and it's going to start in week 1 against number 8 Alabama. The 13-point favorite for Alabama is going to be shut out. I think Florida State by 13 in this game.
Did you put that on your pick 'em?
What?
We're not talking about pick'em. This is different than pick'em.
Yeah, you must have
He's
been eating some of that chicken feed or
That's what he's
something.
saying.
Yeah, you got to play it safe with pick'em. But when I'm on here, when I'm on my podcast, I'll say whatever I want. But then the next big game, it's number 9 LSU traveling into number 4 Clemson Tigers, 6:30 p.m. on ABC. We'll start with Marty on this one.
Man, we really on this show, we've kind of put a bunch of our eggs in the LSU basket. What they got in the transfer portal, if they really gonna bring them up to that level. Now, who's the Heisman guy? Nussmeier.
That's why I'm about to say Zach Mettenberger, but that's big.
That's what I was thinking. And I do have some ifs and buts with Nussmeier, only due to the fact because he did struggle some last year. I do like LSU here, but Clemson, they've always been a little overrated to me to a certain extent. I'm not sure a whole lot about them. I think this is going to be a really good ball game, but I'm gonna stay with my team and go with the purple and gold Tigers.
All right, Hayden, right here, give us a little bit more insight on this Clemson team. I know, like I said, you're better than us. You follow more teams than we do. We just strictly stick to the SEC. So what's your insight on Clemson here?
Dude, I'm so excited for this Clemson team this year, man. I have them. I think they'll probably run the table in the ACC. They may lose one game, and I think that game it'll be a close one between them and Georgia Tech this year. I think that Georgia Tech could be is going to be a lot better than last year. You lose Eric Singleton, but you also return some guys, and the offense will be okay.
Right.
Regardless, we'll move away from that. I think that Clemson, man, defensively, they're going to be stout, dude. They're going to be really stout. Peter Woods on that defensive line is phenomenal. Sammy Brown at the linebacker position, he's going to be really good as well. So, and he's more of a bruiser, man. And Sammy Brown is, he's a 5-star a few years ago, and then he commits to Clemson, and I think he played last year a little bit, and then now this year, I think this is his year. And Peter Woods as well. He's from Thompson. I want to say it was Thompson.
I remember that name.
Yeah, he's a dog. He's a dog. And I think that defensively they're just going to overwhelm LSU because LSU has a lot of, I won't say O-line problems, but there's a lot of uncertainty there. There's a lot of uncertainty with them running the ball. They didn't do it last year. Garrett Nussmeier was throwing the ball 30, 40 times a game, and they were leaving it all on Garrett Nussmeier. And I think that if LSU mixes it up a little bit last year, they probably do a little bit better and maybe even possibly make the playoffs. They couldn't run the ball. They didn't run block at all. So, and that's part of that is on the coaching staff because they didn't just – it seemed like they didn't try to run it as much. So, that's on LSU. But when it comes to Clemson, man, defensively they're going to be extremely stout. Offensively, amazing. You got wide receivers, we'll go ahead and start with Bryant Westco Jr., Antonio Williams. Those guys are both going to be insane. Cade Klubnik as well. Cade Klubnik is, I want to say this is his 5th year maybe, and he's just one of those guys that last year he took a gigantic step, and I think Dabo Swinney's worked with him a lot, and this year it's his time. It's Cade Klubnik's time. It's his field. The battle of the two Death Valleys is going to come down. I won't say it's going to come down to the wire, but I think that Clemson wins this game. I think it's going to be orange and white late. They probably win it by 2 touchdowns. I'm going to take those guys. LSU's going to be good this year, but give me the Clemson Tigers.
Well, I think everybody that listens to this podcast and listens to me talk all season knows that I'm going with LSU. So, yes, you are right. The big offensive line is a big spot to fill, especially you're losing Will Campbell, a top 5 pick. But you have Garrett Nussmeier. You're filling in Chad Durham. I think it is. You're filling in Harlem Berry, a top rated running back coming in, true freshman. And then some of the guys on your offense or your wide receivers, you got Nick Anderson, another one of them Anderson dudes. You got Bauer Sharp at tight end, and then Barry and Brown, especially on kickoff and punt returns, and in that slot position. So I feel like if this Clemson defense is as good as you're saying, which, I believe you like God, like the Bible, Hayden. But if you say something, it's about true. So I take your word on this. Like I said, I don't really talk much about Clemson or really do any work on them. But I feel like if this LSU can keep this Clemson defense tired enough that, keep them running and running, and by the 4th quarter, they can maybe get a late lead and win about by 3 or 4. So I take the close edge right here to LSU. And I'm not going to say it's an upset, but it's going to be a pretty good Week 1 game.
Yeah, let me follow up this. We'll stay here. I want to follow up real quick, Marty, if you don't mind. Is that all right with you, Marty Party?
Yeah, go ahead.
Got me, or did I disconnect?
No, I got you now.
Sorry about that. Yeah, no, I just wanted to follow up and say, you make a good point on the offensive side of the ball with LSU, but I think that defensively, I think they'll be all right as well. It's going to come down to Whit Weeks and Harold Perkins all season long because those are the two guys that have been the main course guys on that team over the last few years, or over the last 2 years anyways, counting this year. So, I don't know, man. We'll see. Marty, I'm curious to see what you got to say about it.
I know with Whitweek stepping up for Harlan, or not Harlan, but Harold Perkins Jr. last year after he got hurt, he played a phenomenal year after he got hurt. So I was really glad to see that, and having Harold Perkins back just adds to that presence on the defense. So definitely going to be a good game to watch at 6:30. And then we got Hayden's favorite underdog, the number 13th South Carolina Gamecocks, and Mercedes-Benz Stadium? Yeah, Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia, against Virginia Tech, 2 o'clock ESPN, and the other Aflac kickoff game. We'll go again. We'll start with Hayden on this one because I know he loves talking about these Gamecocks.
Oh, dude, I'm excited, man. I'm excited about these Gamecocks this year, and I'm interested though because this is a South Carolina team that you lose Kennard, and which is one of your best players on defense last year. Obviously, you do get Dylan Stewart back, and that's got to excite a lot of South Carolina fans. And with the way that they played last year, you have to be excited about them. They return some people. They obviously you lose a few key guys, especially like Rocket Sanders as well, because he was one of those guys that was just a bruiser last year. He could get you some yards when he needed to, and he was really good. And then you also lose Kennard on the defensive side of the football. So that's a loss. When it comes to Virginia Tech, I don't think that defensively, and that was South Carolina, but when it comes to Virginia Tech defensively, I don't see them being able to stop this South Carolina team. I'll take the Gamecocks. And I'll take them big. I think that Sellers is going to ball out, and I'm curious to see how Nick Harbor plays. Is he going to make that step, and are there going to be other guys step up? You have Rasul Faison, who's going to be really good as well at the running back position for South Carolina. He actually just got cleared on waivers the other day to play this year. So I think he's going to be good.
Yep.
And give me South Carolina.
Yeah. Down on that South Carolina. Sanders, Dylan Stewart, them guys really going to play big. Unless Virginia just comes out of the woodwork with their defense just being stellar, which I don't think that's going to happen. Last year was pretty exciting for South Carolina on their defense. Yeah, you did have one or two key losses, but in the interest of fairness, Gamecocks again. Oh, wait. Yeah.
Well, here we go. All right, so my thing is, I do like the South Carolina team. I really do. I do want to say that before I get into my whole spiel. I don't think that this team is going to be that great this season, only because, yeah, you got a couple games and a couple great games from Lenore Sellers last year, but you're missing one key guy from that defense, a cornerback, I don't remember his name, but there's some pieces you got to fill. And you're starting this game in the Aflac kickoff game. So looking forward, it's a neutral site game. Wanting to see more out of Virginia Tech this season against the South Carolina team. I think the South Carolina team will make it to a bowl game after starting 0-1, though.
We'll see. It's the middle day game, so that's Sunday.
Yeah, that game is on Sunday.
This coming Sunday?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Right after the game's on Saturday.
Then the one's on Friday?
Yeah, and on Thursday.
Okay, I just making sure. I was like, we already had Sunday.
But now, we're getting into something we love to do, and it's our interstate game of the week. Yeah, no cars honking today. I don't know what you did with my time clock, but I don't even remember what this. Hayden, what do these two teams play? Pac-12?
So this is the Big Ten. And so Utah and UCLA both joined the Big Ten last year. So pretty despicable.
Cal's in the
Cal's in ACC.
Cal's in the ACC, actually. Yeah. So this will be California.
The geography,
California, Oregon State.
geographically, the conferences make no sense right now.
I think I did a uh-oh.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Yeah, because, we're doing UCLA. I'm so freaking retarded.
I know that.
Okay, here we go. I got it. No, I don't. God dang it. You'd think I would have this by now.
2 years and we're still.
I got it this time.
This is
Utah's
all
traveling down
every
to
professional.
UCLA. Yeah, 10 p.m. on Fox at the Rose Bowl. All right, Hayden, take it over.
I got one word for you. I guess 2 words. Never mind. Devon Dupere of Utah, transfer in last year from New Mexico. I think he's going to lead this Utah team to a win here. UCLA, I got Nico. I just don't think Nico's that good. About halfway through the year
He's
last
not
year, I started
starting.
to realize.
Yeah, Nico's not starting.
Oh, hold on, pause. Did I miss something about this game?
Yeah, Nico's not starting. Hold on, let me see who's actually starting for them.
I could have swore about 2 weeks ago that he got QB2.
Are y'all sure
We are
No,
not.
it
Nico
just
is
came
not the
back
starting
out.
quarterback?
So so a week ago, it was reported that he lost his job to Luke Duncan. And then it came out today, UCLA's depth chart came out today, and it has Nico at 1.
Oh, guys, y'all didn't fall for the No 3 Sports, did you?
No, it was on
So
3. No,
Yeah.
mine was on 3.
It was No 3. It was a parody account that it was a parody account that reported it. And
got me, because I usually don't report none of that bad stuff.
He's starting this year. It'll be Nico Iamaleava. But no, I think that Utah wins this game. I think Utah's going to be a lot better than they were last year. Kyle Whittingham is a fantastic coach, and I think a lot of people have forgotten that he's there. So I'll take Utah. I'll take the Utes in this one.
All right, Marty.
I don't know much about Utes or any, but I do want to see how Nico translate if he's going to go up there and just kind of let loose and see how good a quarterback I guess you could say, because he's kind of pretty much being demoted from the SEC to the Pac-10. So I guess I'm gonna have to go with the professional. Go with Utah here.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat because I'm not picking Nico Iamaleava or whatever his name is. I'm going Utah. I like the head coach they have there, and I like the offense that Utah runs. I know they're not Cam Rising. He did retire last year, so I think it was the same quarterback. Hey, correct me if I'm wrong. Same quarterback as last year, correct?
No, so Cam Rising ended up not playing another year. He was, I want to say he was in a situation where he could get another year of eligibility, but no, the quarterback this year for Utah will be Devon Dempere. So he's a New Mexico transfer, really good. He's gonna take Utah to, I don't necessarily know about another level, but they will be better than last year.
Be on the same level with a couple more wins.
Yeah, we'll say that. Yeah.
All right, well, with all that being said, our interstate game of the week, a clean sweep for the first time all season, Utah. I think that was the only one we were actually on par with.
I want to say it was.
Well, and here we go. Let's go ahead and get our big boys. We are now into the Under Review podcast, game of the week. Number 1, Texas. At number 3, Ohio State, 11 a.m. on Fox. Marty, kick this one.
With my good foot?
No, with the bad one.
Well, like an old silver hoof. Oh man, no. Ohio State.
Can you turn that off? We're trying to record here.
It's just the police.
Well, tell them to shut up.
It's bogey, so. Yeah. So, coming off the national title, I like Ohio State a lot. I don't know how well that Texas is going to transition with Arch Manning being the starter. Yes, outstanding. Could possibly an outstanding quarterback. The weapons around him. I don't know if they deserve the number one spot, but I think Ohio State is going to squeak this one out.
I'm going to defer. I'm going to defer with you a little bit, but so I want to go ahead and say that I think that Ohio State is one of those teams that offensively they're going to have to figure it out, and same with Texas. I think for the start of this game, both teams are going to struggle. I think that Arch Manning, quarterback for Texas, Julian Sayin, quarterback for Ohio State. I think it's going to be a struggle for both of them to start out. I don't think that Arch Manning is going to look like this Heisman contender that everybody's talking about, and I don't think that Julian Sayin is going to look the part that everybody hopes that he will at first. I think it'll be a game that comes down to a slugfest, and I think in the end, I won't necessarily say a snail race per se, but I think it'll be one of those games that comes down to maybe the final drive of the game, low scoring game, but I'll give Texas's defense the edge, and I think that the Longhorns storm into Columbus, Ohio, and they walk away with a win, and they return to Bevo with a W.
So hold on for you get on yours. So I don't know that Texas defense. I do like it, but you got pretty much probably the number one player in is that Jeremiah Smith.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know now who's quarterbacking for Ohio State.
Julian Sayin.
So I don't know. I just think if they can make waves enough to get Jeremiah Smith open, I don't think it's going to even be close.
Well, see, my thing is here with Texas, they did lose their best corner last year with Barron, who would have been a perfect matchup for Jeremiah Smith. But this is not a Will Howard, Quentin Ewers game.
Right.
Veterans of the game. This is two guys that have never started week one before in college football. It's their game. Talking with Arch Manning, who, yes, he played a little bit last year. Julian Sayin got a snap here and there when Will Howard led his team to great schmackles. So it's going to be
the matchup
kind of like but they're starters now. So it's going to be on the pieces around them, like you said, the defense, or a Jeremiah Smith or a Ryan Wingo. It's going to be on them guys to make plays, for their quarterbacks, because, like I said, these guys don't have a lot of experience playing quarterback inside college football. Like I said, they've had a couple snaps here and there, so it's going to be who can figure it out the quickest, I'm going to say. And I think that's going to give the home edge to Julian Sayin, giving Texas this early loss, but not an SEC loss, but it's giving them an early loss on their schedule to come back and figure it out at a later time.
So they're both going to have to go through the game and figure it out, which, like Hayden said, it could make it a really close game to the end. But I think with probably, again, with Jeremiah Smith being a Heisman contender already, being the number one player coming back, I think that might be the difference maker here in this one.
Yep. Hayden, any final thoughts?
Yeah, no, I like both the picks. So Ohio State is a team that is going to be good this year. They will make the playoffs. I have them in my playoff, or my preseason prediction for the playoff anyways. So I think they will be good this year. We just defer from Texas and Ohio State. I got the Horns. Y'all are going Big Ten. I'm going SEC. I think that this game right here, and this is why I love these early games, the early non-conference games, while the Iowa State and Kansas State overseas game in Ireland, that was a fantastic game.
Yeah,
that was really cool.
Yes, good game.
It's a conference game early on, and that's the thing that I think is a little. I'm not going to say it's outlandish because it's not, but I want to say that I like the non-conference early season out of conference games more. For one, because you're getting to see different. You're getting to see a different opponent, but also because if you lose that game, it's not going to go against your conference your win-loss ratio. So I really like these type of games, and I really like how this is a big noon game because I know it's an underrated comment, but I love the big noon games. So I love it. I love the early out of conference game. So it gives both teams a chance to see out of conference opponents, and not every team is going to see that early on. So if you take an L early in the season to a really good team, to which is going to happen regardless to who wins this game, but they have the rest of the season, they don't have to worry about a conference loss.
So so that's all we got for all this, But Hayden and Marty, Hayden, I talked to you about it later last week. The SEC is going into a 9-game conference schedule next year. How do you really feel about that?
I like the 9-game conference and schedule because for one, you get 9 SEC games. 2, the SEC is being forced to play an out of conference Power 4 game each season. So I really love it. I love the idea. So you're gonna see more Notre Dame versus Alabama, and obviously this is not particular. I'm just stating a fact here, but you're going to see more of the Notre Dames versus Alabamas or Texas or the Clemsons versus Georgias, because they've played early before in a season, and that game was fun. So that's a series that was fun too. So we're going to see more of the out of conference series, and I'm really excited for those. Like right now you have Auburn and Baylor playing on Friday night, which I think is going to be one of the better games of the weekend. I don't think that Auburn wins, of course, but I think that Baylor wins that game. But if you look at it from a whole as a perspective, for the Big Ten, for Kurt Signetti, you have nothing to whine about anymore. Okay, for the Big 12 doesn't even whine about it. But so I'm really concerned, not concerned. I'm really excited to see how this goes over the next few years, and if this is actually going to stick. I'd imagine it would, just because you can't really go back from something like this. But I'm really excited for it as a whole.
So not to be the Debbie Downer here or the glass half empty kind of guy, but I talked to a buddy of mine about it today, and I do like it to a certain sense, but I think it's going to water down the SEC because we're going to, again, I've said it the whole 2 years we've been doing this, is that we constantly cannibalize each other. Yeah, you're going to get the fun games like he was talking about, like the Notre Dame Alabamas back in the day and stuff like that. But when you're having 9 SEC games against 9 SEC opponents, we're going to demolish each other. And then I think that would want to get rid of the SEC championship game due to the fact that we've already played each other. We've already watered it down to a certain extent. Yes, we'll be a power conference outside of the conference, but in conference, I think it might dilute some of the strong tradition we have. Yeah, you might hear and there get Kentucky over an Alabama or LSU getting beat by like Vandy or Mizzou or something that really shakes it up. But hopefully it's an experiment that can go good. But I'm not just a super fan of it.
And I see it from 2 point of views too.
Yeah,
that's my bad. I see it from 2 point of views too, because if you look at some of the games that have happened in previous years, for instance, 2010 or 2011, you had Oklahoma State playing for they win that rivalry game, and then guess what? Boom, those guys are going to the BCS National Championship game.
Right.
They lose a game late in the season. And it's a conference game. They lose the game late in the season to a team they shouldn't be losing to. And then I want to say it was West Virginia, maybe. I apologize. I can't exactly remember who it was, but I do remember the situation occurring. And it just, it doesn't go their way. I think it can go either way with whether it's an 8-team or 9-team, but I do agree with that to an extent, because it's a conglomeration of positive and negatives. But
right.
I just see it more positive for one. And 2, the SEC is just going to grab more money too. That's what they want. Yeah. And I think that's what a lot of people want when it comes to these things.
I mean, I like SEC games more than anybody, but yes, like I do also seen earlier that Alabama and West Virginia have called off their matchups because of this. So that brings in Alabama. Who is going to fill that spot for them now? Is it going to be an ACC team? Is it going to be, I mean, we crap on those at the Big 12 because they don't really have that. If you think of good football, SEC, ACC, and now it's what's the team with Ohio State and all them? Big Ten. You think of those three. So I don't know if the Big 12 is trying to go away from these games or what. So we'll see who Alabama fits into that matchup. It's going to be a good sighting to see because, they could go to a Big 12 and get one of those, teams where they could go into the Big 10 and grab Northwestern or Rutgers or somebody that they can, an easy win. But if you want to play a good schedule, having the teams like a Michigan or, Notre Dame's also on the schedule. You could have Notre Dame. Do you want to play one more good team and then your SEC conference? That's the thing. Or do you want to play again Rutgers or Northwestern? Not saying that these are bad teams, but teams you could probably get a win out of. Purdue, Duke. Do you want to play them? So it's going to be really different to see how these schedules will shape out with this and who these teams are wanting to buy in more to play.
Right. Before we jump into the loader time, I seen a thing today with Mike Piera. I think that's how you say it, the rules guy. And there's 3 rule changes I want to get your opinion on real quick. Have you seen about the defenseless player that they more and more tried to get on? Like if you dive on a ball or muff a punt and try to get onto it, you now then become a defenseless player.
So I think that's I just think it's ridiculous, man, with the way it's going. That's all I have to say about it. I think it's ridiculous.
Then they also did this. I'm sorry, Todd.
I agree with that. I mean, if you jump on a ball, it's
Tony. We
go ahead.
Into the Sissy League.
Yeah, to an extent. All right, what's the second one?
The second one was this on celebrations. Anything brandishing a weapon or any kind of bow and arrow, axe, raising your shirt up, showing you've got a weapon or something like is an automatic personal foul, 15 yards.
I don't think the bow and arrow should be one because if the quarterback throws a freaking dart, let him throw that thing out there. All right, now the pistols and shooting up the place and all that stuff, that's different.
Yeah.
Throwing a bow and arrow, even Hayden knows.
That's one of my favorite celebrations in all of college football or in college sports in general. Like I just now the guns I understand. I'm completely behind the getting rid of those. I'm completely behind that. But what I think is just absolutely egregious is taking away the bow and arrow. Because to me the bow and arrow. It's whether it's a dart. Look at what Cam Scatterbo did last year. It was 4th and 2, and they act like they're going to hand it off to him. They pitch it back. That dude throws it wasn't a dart. It was actually a pretty pitiful throw. But, they ended up scoring on it. And it was like, dude, the celebration, cold, man. Cold. It was so cool. And the fact that they're wanting to take that away, I think is is very egregious. But it is what it is. They're going more soft. They're going Charmin soft, and it is what it is, man. You just can't change it, but it is pitiful.
I do get the weapon, like Hayden said. I do get the weapon still. I do. The bow and arrow is one of my favorites, but I get that. But the biggest one is that they're cracking down on this year is the fake injury.
I don't know how you better call Lane Kiffin on that one.
Yeah, well, the thing is, if I don't know how they're going to determine if it's a fake injury, but if it is, it's an automatic. It causes you a timeout. Well, if you don't have any timeouts, it's automatic delay of game, but that's going to be hard on the defense. So, but
I think that one's absolutely ridiculous. And going back to the other one, did they count as holstering the sword as a weapon?
Yes.
See, that's stupid. If you make a great play on a defense and because you're a lockdown, that's ridiculous. So, yes, I agree with Hayden. I think all 3 of these moves are absolutely ridiculous and should not be inside football. But welcome to the 2025 Sissy League, I guess.
Woo.
Well, I thought it was seatbelt. No, is there a sword?
It's strapped to the sword.
Yeah, it's taking two hands and putting your sword in after like you just kind of oof somebody.
I thought it was seatbelt because I don't know. I thought it was seatbelt.
It's a sword.
We'll talk about it tomorrow at work, Hayden.
But
man, what in the world?
As we're winding down on this great episode of Week 1 that we have, where the best all-time logo tournament still going on. So, like I said, returning the next Sunday and see how this plays out. We have in the finals, it's Ole Miss Rebels and the Auburn Tigers. So, like I said, go ahead, get your vote in on Facebook, and help your team to the win.
Okay, then that's the last slideshow because I already thought it was over.
Oh, that's fine. We're done. Again, I want to thank Hayden Coker. What?
Already did the winner thing, so.
Oh, okay.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. I thank y'all for inviting me on.
Of course.
We'll have you on later on in the season as well. But it's always fun to get your insight, especially Week 1. I didn't think of another great man to talk to besides, you, because you know about it more than we do, because we only follow one group of it.
Oh, man. Y'all are too kind, man. Y'all are too kind. My cheeks are turning red. My upstairs cheeks. Anyways.
Oh, okay. At least they ain't the bottom ones.
Yeah.
All right, Marty, send us home.
I appreciate y'all, really.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, Hayden. Appreciate it, brother. All right, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Find me you can find me at Under Review Customs. Like I said, football season is here. I'm ready to make something for you. I already got a couple orders coming in that I'm doing some Brave stuff. Going to look at doing some Dallas Cowboy stuff. Woo. Just super excited. Turn your favorite sports person into a card and get them memories locked in.
Especially with Pee Wee football going on, guys. Hit him up.
Yeah, I'm going to try to do a game. I'm going to get with Billy, but I'm going to try to do a game this year.
Yeah, I'm always there. I'm PA announcer for them. Something I love doing on the side. I won't be able to do it professionally, but love helping out the little kids. Wild Country Homestead is the homestead that me and my wife have. Please call us. Find us on Facebook, Pickled Eggs Bread. We just got some rabbits in the freezer. What you want, we got it. Look, head on over to Facebook.com and look us up. Wild with an E, Country Homestead. All right, guys, that's all we got for today. Thank you for this amazing time that we spent with you. Running 55 minutes with all the technical difficulties. I'll cut it out. We'll get there. But like as always, thank you for watching the Under Review podcast. And we'll catch you next time when we go under the monitor. Thank you.